Caddo Parish Clerk of Court. Good morning, friend.
Good morning, Aaron. Good morning, Dan.
Let me ask you, everybody's been talking about it. Things were slow getting in Saturday night. What was the holdup? What could you put your finger on?
Well, one cartridge, we had a little problem reading it. The computer didn't want to read it well, so we had to manually enter it in from the paper tabulations.
Oh, you
That's
mean
why we
like,
have paper tabulations.
like key punch? I mean,
Yes, we had to go old school, but it worked, and first time that's happened, and there's always a first.
wow. Okay, the early voting numbers statewide seem to be slow getting in. Do we know what was the holdup on that?
Well, you have paper ballots on that day, and we have mail-in ballots that come in the same day. Dale Sibley at the registrar's office had many ballots come in the last 2 days, so it takes a little time to get those counted. When it takes a while to do early voting, that means we had a good day with early voting and mail-in voting.
And it's early voting, not early counting, right? You don't start counting those when you get them.
No. We start at about 2 o'clock Saturday.
Okay, when we were late Saturday night and there was 84 of 85 reporting, the one that was not reporting was the one you had the trouble with, I guess?
Yes, we had to manually enter it in from the paper tabulation from the voting machine.
Turnout for Caddo Parish. What were the numbers? What do they look like?
It was high 30s, right at 40.
Okay.
Which was pretty statewide.
Okay. How's that compare to 4 years ago in the governor's race? Do you have that in front of you?
I don't have those numbers.
Okay. Any other anomalies in anything Saturday? Did you get any complaints at the ballot boxes? Anything that folks were concerned about?
Basically, we had very little complaints. It was one of our lower days. Generally, someone will say that they tried to punch a button and it didn't work, but we have clerks at a majority of the precincts, and we have deputies patrolling, and we go and video check them, and all of them were working.
In the race for the Senate, in the Milkovich and Milligan race, and Katrina Early, that one it looks like it's going to be really close in terms of Milligan getting over the 50% margin. What's the procedure for the Milkovich camp or Miss Early's camp if they want to challenge those numbers, ask for a recount? What has to be done? What are the steps?
Well, they have to request a recount, and they have to be able to produce that many votes, and I think it was about a 300-vote difference. So the machines themselves, there's nothing really to verify on them. Those machines are correct. We just check the counter numbers to make sure the number of voters match the numbers that are on the machine. And other than that, we can only check the early voting.
Okay, and
when I say early voting, that would be the paper voting.
Gotcha. Do they have a time deadline for when they can request a recount?
I do not know. We will have the election verified Wednesday, and it's so many days after Wednesday.
Okay. And when there's a formal request for a recount, what does your office have to do? What does your office have to do at that point?
Well, at that point, we get with the registrar of voters, and then we find out which precincts that are involved, and then we would pull those paper ballots out, and it would just be a recount between the Board of Election Supervisors.
Okay. In the anomaly of the problem with the one precinct, do you make any changes, any adjustments for the November election?
Well, those machines come from the Secretary of State. Those are Secretary of State mechanics that work on them. They take that cartridge, and I would hope they take it out of service.
So it'll be gone.
It's still printed out the paper ballot. Everything was fine there. It's just that was what was displaying the ballot on the machine.
Gotcha. Mike Spence, Caddo Parish Clerk of Court. I know it was a busy, long weekend for you and your staff. Thanks to all of them. Please send our thanks to them for what they do. I know another long night, busy day for you guys.
Right, and the poll workers. I always thank the poll workers, and we need more poll workers.
Ah, okay. If I want to be a poll worker, what do I do, Mike?
Sign up we have classes throughout the year at the dates the Secretary of State allows us to. Literally, all you do is watch a film online. You come to a library. We give a little bit of schooling to them, and they take a test, and then they're poll workers.
And you pay big bucks, right?
Yeah, we're $200. Hey,
Not bad.
better
Not bad.
than the old days.
Spare cash in the pocket. Yeah, Mike Spence, Clerk of Court, Caddo. Thanks for your time.
All right, Aaron.
Take
Have
care.
a good day.
All right.